Hey gang, we're here for chest and triceps. We have a lot of core stability work sprinkled in as well. So we've got all of your main chest and tricep movements plus some unilateral work. We've got 3 supersets. We're going to finish with a 3-minute AMRAP. Yeah, 3-minute AMRAP with a little bit of cardio. So this is a good all around great upper body workout to kick your week off. So we're going to kick things off with our chest presses and a skull crusher superset. So I've got my bench. This is optional. If you're not ready to graduate to a shallow bench just yet, just keep doing your dumbbell chest presses from the floor. Floor presses are a really great stepping stone. So I would prefer if you progressed in a way that you started picking up heavier dumbbells or even a straight bar if you're comfortable with that from the floor, and then graduating to a bench to get a little bit more range of motion, and then work again up to the weight that you were using from the floor, unless you are comfortable with that weight independently. But if you're not sure, always have a spotter. So especially if you're taking this to the gym and you're on the bench press, definitely always have a spotter if you are exploring a heavier weight option. So I'd rather you taper your reps down to accommodate a heavier weight and then work up to the rep range that we're working with. So for this workout, it's going to be 8 to 12 for most of the moves. We'll do a quick warm up, just some shoulder mobility, open up the chest a little bit, and then we will get it started. So you're in charge of counting reps, even at the end for our AMRAP. Do we need a resistance band? We do not, but I will say have a lighter, like moderate to light set of dumbbells ready. We're going to do some standing chest flies with that. I have 30-pound dumbbells, 20-pound dumbbells, 15-pound dumbbells, and you may want even lower than 10s for our tricep work. Okay, so with our single arm tricep work, you might be cool with a 10 or a 15-pound dumbbell. You may need something lighter than that. So here we go. Just going to take my resistance band at the very ends, get a little bit of give. You can do this with a PVC pipe, but I like a resistance band because it's got obviously more give. I love using this to warm up the shoulders, back, chest, everything. As always, we're going to be mindful of our angles, which means our posture, our alignment, the level of engagement in our core. All of that matters because that's going to help protect the low back. I love prioritizing a good warm-up because in our day-to-day, we can be so confined. We could really be sitting at a desk typing all day, looking down a lot, you know, in this like hunched over position. So as much as we can open things up, I like to do that. Good. Let's give it some single arm stretching. Ooh, this is good to stretch out the triceps. All right, cool. Here we go, team. Let's get ready for our chest presses. We've got an 8 to 12 rep range. Okay, so that's a decent range if you want to start with a working set and go pretty close to failure. and then kind of like progressively pick up heavier weights, even if that means failing close to 8 reps as opposed to 10 or 12. By all means, that's a good progression. I'm going to start with 20s. I am using a bench, so if you are going from the floor, you might be able to go heavier to start. Oh. Make sure your head, neck, shoulder blades are supported. My start position on my bench, driving my weights forward, driving my shoulder blades down into my bench. I've got my back arched so that I can drive through my heels, allowing me to push heavier weight. But for this first working set, I am really focused just on the angle in which my weights are traveling. So that 45-degree angle, my range of motion, so how far down I come versus how far I drive up, keeping a slight bend in the elbow. And I'm also very focused on my tempo, because this is a tempo that I want to keep even as I progress to heavier weights. So I like a 3-3 or a 3-2. So 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3, we travel up. All right, cool. Working set done. We've got skull crushers. So I think I got my 15s. Oh, same position. So you can use 2 dumbbells and brush either dumbbell by your ears, or you could take 1 dumbbell and tip your dumbbell toward the forehead and then extend. Good, 8 to 12. Awesome job. Okay, so quick little review. What is training till failure or close to it? So training close to failure means leaving 0, 1, 2, or 3 reps in the reserve only. Obviously, leaving 0 reps means you're going until you fail. So we typically recommend choosing 1 to 2 exercises per workout to specifically train till failure. Okay, so typically that's like a main compound lift, like chest presses, squats, RDLs, pull-ups, or bent over rows, ring rows, things like that. So I'm going to attempt to train till failure. We're very close to it with chest presses, which means I'm not going to do that with skull crushers or kickbacks or push-ups, because you don't want to choose everything necessarily, but you do want to make sure you're being challenged in every move. So it's a delicate balance, and there's no 2 similar ways, or there's no one way to get it done, and it's not always going to look the same for you. So progression and just overall success is not always linear. Okay, so like you cannot expect to just lift heavier and heavier every single week if you're inconsistent, for example, or if you're only training till failure every other week or every third week. Like it has to be consistent, and even with the best consistency and the best intentions, you know, your nutrition is not always going to be dialed in. Your sleep is not always going to be on point. There's so many factors, okay? But control what is within your control, and you will make progress over time. If you were to look at your trends and you are consistent over time, then guess what? You will make progress. All you need is to be on point more days than you are not, okay? So consider that a win. Was I more consistent, or was I more on point with my strength training, my nutrition, my protein, my water, my sleep, more days than I was not, okay? Set number 2. Remember your angles. Make sure you've got a good grip on that dumbbell. Good. All right, quick sip of water. We go into set number 3. Whew. Superset number 2, we got tempo push-ups, and we've got a standing dumbbell chest fly. And then we move into single arm, single leg tricep kickbacks. That is one of my faves. But first we've got our last set of chest presses and skull crushers. Here we go. Training till failure is such a funny concept. It really is. Truly, truly is. Because when you remove expectations and just let your body do its thing, sometimes your body totally surprises you. And it's just proof that your mind is always gonna fail you before your body actually does. Super set number 1 is done. Let's move this bench out of the way for just the moment. Scoot it all back. Ugh. All right, quick sip of water if you need it. Create some room in my space. All right, so quick review. Modifying push-up options include hands on your bench to give you that appropriate angle and take some of the resistance off, okay? A wall push-up is gonna be the number 1 way to modify if you're a super beginner, and that's where you're starting out. So start on the wall, progress to a bench with hands on your bench, and then your third method in which you can modify is to break your push-ups into 2 parts. And this is my preferred method if you are very, very, very close to push-ups from the toes, but you've been a knee push-up person. I don't need any knee push-up people. Get off of the knees, because that's the number 1 way to stay in that position and never progress to a real push-up. It never made sense. It never will make sense. Stop doing it, okay? Those are the options. Wall, bench, or break the push-up into 2 parts, meaning you take the first set and work on your lowering. 1, 2, 3, boom, I've lowered to the ground. Now I'm gonna come back to my start position, okay? My wrists are directly below the shoulder, fingertips slightly tilted in, giving me the appropriate angle. I take 1 step back, I take 2 steps back. This is a high plank. I lower, lower, lower. Boom. So step number 1, you work on just the lowering. Step number 2, you start from the floor, boom, right here, and you work on just the push. Why are we doing this? Because it's easier to take the wasted motion and wasted energy that typically happens when we put those moves together, like piking the hips or sagging the hips. If I can take all of the drama out and just work on the lowering and the push, chances are I can begin then to string a couple of straight push-ups together, even if it's only 2 to 3 at a time, okay? If you can get 2 in a row in perfect form, like excellent form, you're winning, okay? It's where we start to really hurt ourselves that we do our push-ups like this, or like that, or like that, because those are not push-ups. So continuing to use shitty form is not going to get you anywhere. We want to be working the chest, and this is also a core exercise. Your core should be engaged. This is a very difficult move to perfect, okay? But when you do perfect it, then you can string more and more together. You can throw weight on top of your back to do weighted push-ups. The sky's the limit, okay? So here we're doing 8 to 12 tempo push-ups, which means I lower, lower, lower for 3, and I pop up for 1. If you can't handle that tempo, just give me what you can. So regular push-ups, some sort of a modification. Don't worry about the tempo if you are not there. If you are advanced or intermediate, work on that tempo. So lower, 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 1, 2, 3, pop up for 1. All right, so it's gonna look like this. I'm just gonna go into the first set. I've been talking enough about this. Lower, 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 boom. That's 1 rep. Good. All right, so I've got 10. Again, we're working with an 8 to 12 rep range. And then we've got our standing chest fly. So what we want is a slight forward lean. Dumbbells are out here. I'm coming up to about shoulder height. 8 to 12 reps. You might need something lighter. Like I'm using 10s and this feels pretty freaking heavy. I might have to back it down a little bit. If you are taking this workout to the gym with you, feel free to grab cables and get a bit wider of an angle in your standing chest fly. Good. Set number 1 is done. We've got 2 more sets. Quick sip of water, rest for 30 to 120 seconds. Yes, up to 2 minutes. We need rest. We need recovery. Stop doing jumping jacks. Stop doing mountain climbers. Stop doing burpees. Stop doing air squats. Stop running in place. All of the cardio you think you need, just stop. Because if you don't need this recovery right now, then I'm telling you, you should be doing more within your strength, okay? I'm telling you, you need to start to think in terms of like challenging yourself in a different way, okay? So stressing your muscles, okay, and like testing your strength. I want you to think of every single set and every single rep as a test. How am I testing my strength? Am I getting close to failure? If not, what do I need to do to get closer to failure? Because if your body doesn't need recovery in between supersets, you're just not doing enough within those sets, okay? And I say that with love. You're giving me permission to coach you and push you and challenge you. So that is the reality. That's the reality. Here we go. So number 2, tempo or regular push-ups or the modification of your choice, 8 to 12. See how my body is in a straight line. Lower, 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 like an elevator. Pop it up with intensity. I really want to see that change in tempo, that change in pace. It gets harder as you go through. Awesome shit. I'm going to step with my opposite foot forward this time. Get my slight angle, my slight forward lean. Good. Squeezing that chest. Good shit. Grab a drink. Recover. Recover, recover, recover. Last set, best set coming. I love the feeling I get when I roll into the last set, and when I'm developing the workout, it's like, all right, on paper, this all makes sense, but like, I always wonder, where am I going to feel the most challenged? Is it the end? Is it somewhere in the middle because I put compound lifts first? Is it going to be like every third set of every move? Because you've got to get through reps 1, 2, 3, and 4 to be challenged at 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. You've got to get through sets 1 and 2 to be like really going till failure in that third set. So it's always like, to me, just a guessing game of like where I'm going to feel the most challenged. And maybe you can let me know where you felt the most challenged in this workout and where you surprised yourself. Last set, best set. Try to still be explosive. I know it's hard at the end. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Breathe through the shaking. We got this. That last one was really hard to explode up, but we did it. We did it, we did it, we did it. Way to freaking go. Way to go. Way to go. All right. All right, so let's demo this move because it's a little complicated. We've done it before. It's a single arm and single leg kickback. So let's start with the side in which we're going to work. Okay, so we're always bringing kind of like opposite arm, opposite leg, kind of like a bird dog. So like right here, I'm going to balance. While I balance that opposite leg, I'm going to kick it back. So this move is going to require like a lot of control. Grab a pillow or a mat for that knee if you need it, your stabilization knee. We're going 8 to 12 reps per side. This is our last superset before our AMRAP, by the way. So if you're on a bench like this, grab a pillow or a yoga mat, something to make it a little bit easier. 8 to 12 reps per side. It's normal to feel more challenged on one side versus the other. It's called being human. Oh, come on, balance here. Woo. Oh, all right. Set number 1 done. This is deceptively challenging. This tests your balance, your core strength, and your triceps all in the same movement. So have some patience. Let's get ready for set number 2. Try to start the same side that you originally started, obviously. All right. Whew. Last set, best set. Here we go. Oh. All right. Glad that is over. Whew. Everything's on fire. Tushy, core, triceps. All right, 3-minute AMRAP. What we've got jack presses. 12 total. All right, we've got a standing march. 12 reps, and we've got seated dips. Okay, so my 2 options for seated tricep dips. Hang on, let me get my timer up. Quick little demo. So here is your modification. modification looks like. We dip, knee in, that's 1 rep, boom. 12 reps total. If we need to further modify, knees bent, boom, 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 okay? And if you want a progression, you can lose the bench and just go from the floor, but I'll be using the bench today. Here we go, 3 minutes on the clock. Jack presses. Let's do it. 12 reps. Here we go. Two more. Make sure you're using that core to pull the knees up to the chest. Halfway there. Good, last one. All right, jack presses. Lose my timer. Standing march. 50 seconds remaining. Thirty seconds on the clock. Here we go. Ten seconds to go. Good for 3, 2, and 1. Whew. Way to get after it. Way to carve out time. Do something challenging for you today. Something to kick off your week. You can handle some resistance. You can do hard things. Go out and achieve anything else that you want to today. Hydrate, eat, move, slay the rest of your day. I'll see you next time.